Greetings, Tony from Old River Hardgoods again. Well, the music you're listening to is Angels Rise from my first CD, Forgotten Walls. And as always, the links to the full version and a video I made of it are down there in the description. And today's video, the first of 2025, is going to take a look at some collectible planes, a couple of wooden, one Stanley, some other collectible tools, and I'm going to be sneaking in a restoration of an Adze head as well. So all kinds of good things happening when you least expect them. And let me tell you, it is freaking cold here in PA right now. This morning it was 15 degrees Fahrenheit. That's like minus 9°C for you non-English types. With wind chills to 0 or more. And the wind has just been brutal here. And let me tell you, the flea markets have been just as brutal. So anyways, on with the show. And here we have an adjustable sash plane by John Bell of Philadelphia. Bell worked from 1829 to 1851 and was very, very prolific. He made a lot of planes. Now this is uncommon in being a wedge arm. Now, of course, plow planes were available with wedge arms and later screw arms. But sash planes, you rarely find one with wedge arms. They were primarily screw arms. And adjustable sash planes are pretty much an American form. I'm not saying English never made them, but most of the ones you find are American. And I just had this wedge moved. You can see the body has separate, so you can make a wider cut. This one's 3/4 of an inch as is. And this one cleaned up really well. I mean, considering the age of the thing's, 175 years old, actually a lot older than that. I'll get to that in a second. Oh, W.H. Smith got real sloppy with his name stamp all over the place, and WSS, probably another relative, made his mark along with the big W, whichever one of that was, but you see him here on the heel as well. Sold in pretty good shape. There are some holes there on the fence for the ovalo side that whatchamacallit had an extra applied fence on it. Matter of fact, there's several holes, so there must have been a couple on and off of that side at one point in time. But, and let's see, I just stuck these back in here. Yep, there we go. That one's out, that one's out. And we get to the irons. The upper iron is a James Cam. This one's a Hildick, but they both look to be original to the tool. And they've fallen with the early portion of Cam's working time, so late 1820s, early 1830s. So that means, this plane's probably kicking 190 plus years old. Yeah, everything's getting close to that 200-year mark, but again, very uncommon to find a wedge arm in these. Very uncommon to find one in this kind of shape, and of course, the fact it's a bell makes it a very, very collectible plane, all in all. Well, I recently picked up this Adze, and this is going to be kind of one of those restoration deals. And you can see somebody sprayed it with something shiny. Yeah, that yellowish is kind of there. Of course, there's some rust under there. Line there, probably where the steel ends or whatever. I don't know. Didn't see a maker's mark on it. Usually that would be under here, but till we get that crud off of it. And again, I have no idea what this is. This might be the dreaded polyurethane. It might be something nastier, but who knows? All I can tell you is there's going to be a whole lot of cussing bringing this guy back from the dead. So stay tuned. Well, here's a tool I recently had picked up and cleaned. And it's a divider of sorts, or compass. No maker's mark. It's stamped 18 on the one leg, so it might have started life as an older wing compass. And this guy measures, was it 18 and 7/8 inches overall. Top of the joint to the end of the tip down here. Looks like there was a hole for a wing and a screw at some point, but this guy's been reforged, reworked, and Lord only knows what else. And what makes it unique is this holder at the end. And it's still got some rust down in there. You got something to run a brush through that quick, but it's a spring clip. And for holding what? Chalk, soapstone, charcoal. I'm thinking this was either a pattern maker's or maybe a wheelwright's or a Cooper's compass. Unfortunately, it didn't come with the owner's manual, but it's pretty neat. Joint's a little loose. Would need a couple hammer whacks, I guess, to tighten it back up, but I'm not going to worry about that. And definitely is a one-of-a-kind tool. One you sure don't find very often. Well, I had this guy soaking in the stripper for about 3 days now, and some of it came off, some of it didn't. I don't know what that stuff was, but it's just got some sand in it to loosen up the rust. Can't tell if this thing was plated or just polished, but whatever. We're going to head over to the wheel and see what we can accomplish there. Lovely, eh? Well, if you follow my videos, back in September, towards the end of September, I made a pretty good haul at the one flea market. It was mainly pattern makers planes, but there were several other planes in there as well. And one of them was this particular guy. A Stanley Bedrock, number 606. Triplane, 4-plane. Same thing as a Stanley number 6. Now, what makes this one unique is that this is a Type 11 in Bedrock typing, same as a Type 17 in the regular plane typing, which means it was made during World War II. What's also kind of unique about this plane was World War II marked the end of the Bedrock line. So this guy was made sometime in 1941. And it's got cleaned up pretty well. A few small spots of pitting on it, but nothing too bad on the sides. Sole's got a couple little spots. Boy, this guy really came out nice. A couple of the features. Of course, it's got the hardwood knob and tote with the steel screws rather than the brass nuts. Something else this guy has is this adjuster knob, which has a brass insert. And the composite material, whatever it is, I used to say hard rubber, and a couple of people said, no, it's not hard rubber, it's something else. Well, whatever it is. If you notice, the back, the flat side of the of the whatever the knob is towards the outside, where the later ones they were put on reverse, so they resembled the more traditional Stanley knobs. And I gotta say, boy, this is a pretty uncommon tool in terms of this vintage. I mean, bedrocks are not that common to start with. I can't even tell you the last time I had a bedrock plane. It's probably been years and years, mainly because of where I do my buying and that. Usually the only ones I see are extremely overpriced or extremely poor condition. You know, they look like they were used for dredging clams. They were that rusty. And of course, you'll get the comment from the clowns that, oh, I can clean that up in a half an hour. It's like, you know, the Lord himself with an army of angels couldn't get that guy clean in a half an hour. But anyways, just a really solid collectible plane, and it's on its way to a new home. The Pennsylvania Railroad was founded in 1846, continued in business until 1968. And back in the 1880s, they were the largest railroad, not only in the United States, but in the entire world. And you can see this hammer has their PRR mark on it, which is the most commonly found one. And this is a all total it's about 3¼ pounds, but 3-pound blacksmith hammer. And it's not too bad. Yeah, it's got some dings, a couple chips, but yeah, nothing worth kicking the cat over, so to speak. Peen's also got a few dings. The handle's a bit on the iffy side. It is checked down here, but it's on fairly tight. And face it, handles a renewable resource, but you know, this is one of those tools that's got a ton of history behind it, and I wish I knew a little more about who, what, when, where, and how, but we'll take what we get, right? But it's still a good collectible and a solid user as well. Well, that was round one of the cleaning. See, it's got a steel bit, iron body. Somebody obviously power washed this guy at some point. Not too bad. It's going to take some more work, though. Did pull up a name. Can't really read it. Maybe you can, but yeah, we'll do a little careful sand in there. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty decent adze by the time I get done with it. Accidentally sharpened the edge while I was sanding it, so I've got to be careful of that. So it'll take a bit more work till we get to the final stage. Ain't he cute? 2.5 inches long. Outside caliper. Kind of thin, kind of light, don't weigh much of nothing. But note the date, 1862. I guess that's the date. There's the user initials, ATS. Back's got the same initials and date, although it was that one was kind of banged around on, but it's actually pretty good shape. I mean, the joint works. Well, try to do this one-handed, maybe not. Yeah, there it goes. And holds, yeah, I don't have to worry about it moving around, but well, years ago I had some yin-yang give me some noise about similar type of thing with a date on it like this. And, well, how do I know you're not sitting there stamping them? It's like, please. If I had a set of number stamps like this in, good user shape, they're worth $250, $300. At least they used to be for the older ones. Fancy font, if you can see it. Why would I want to sit around messing around, stamping up, tools to get an extra couple bucks out of them? I mean, I know there are clowns that do that. You should see some of the axes that I've seen, quote-unquote, forged over the years. But, anyways, it's a neat little tool. Don't know if it'll sell, but we'll find out. Here we have another example of an adjustable sash plane. This one was also made by John Bell of Philadelphia. And this is a screw arm sash. What's unique about this guy is that the boxing is a lignum vitae. Something you see on a number of the Philadelphia makers. They use lignum, occasionally use rosewood. And this one came out pretty good shape. Body's got some dings, a little bang in there. Screws are good. A few minor chips on the threads, but they do work. And they actually remove, the body halves come apart, which will make shipping this guy a heck of a lot easier. You don't have to worry about those screw arms sticking out like you do on a plow plane. The irons have some light patina, but not going to bother pulling out. The one is marked James Cam. And this is a really, really nice example of this style of plane. I've had a few Chapins over the years and a couple of the other makers, but tell you what, one by Bell like this is a real find and a great collectible old tool. And here we have pretty much the finished product. I gave it a wet sanding with the 400 grit. One more pass on the wheel, and we're going to call it a day. Steel bit's not bad, a little frosting on it. Visible forge weld line, but it's not cracked. Might give it a quick wipe down with the wax. I haven't decided yet, but I got to get this thing done, videoed, and also have to try and sell it. Pretty sure that's a partial cast steel mark, having looked at it. There's a number something, but name is long gone. Hammer pull's got some dings and wear and what have you, but hey, it wasn't going to be perfect when we started, so. But a little time, a lot of effort. Yeah, I got more time in this guy than I really like to think about, but hopefully I'll make a little money on it. But we shall see. And that's all for this one, folks. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed my little presentation. And as always, please hit that subscribe button to be notified when new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, and bye.